Back to the Future is a movie where time travel runs on plutonium, 80s kids invent rock and roll, and your mom tries to kiss you in a parked car. But the real chaos wasn't on screen. It was behind the camera. They fired the lead actor halfway through filming. The time machine used to be a fridge, and Crispin Glover sued the franchise into the next decade. These are 20 weird facts about Back to the Future. 1. Eric Stoltz was Marty for 6 weeks. They shot half the movie, and then deleted him from history. Eric Stoltz was cast as Marty McFly. He wore the vest. He drove the DeLorean. He even filmed the Libyan chase scene. But something was off. He played it straight. No jokes, no sparkle. He thought it was a drama. Robert Zemeckis watched the dailies in horror. They wanted Spielbergian wonder. They got existential dread in denim. So halfway through production, they fired Stoltz and called in Michael J. Fox. But here's the time loop. They couldn't erase Stoltz completely. If you pause the cafeteria punch scene, that fist? Still his. 2. Michael J. Fox slept 2 hours a night. Fox wasn't just filming Back to the Future, he was also filming Family Ties. At the same time, he'd shoot the sitcom all day, get picked up in a studio van, and shoot Back to the Future all night. Repeat, for 3 months. He slept in the van between takes, or sometimes not at all. And somehow, between 2 a.m. stunts and sleep-deprived banter, he gave us one of the most iconic teen performances in film history. Doc Brown had a flux capacitor. Fox had espresso and panic. 3. The time machine was almost a fridge.
Marty, you made it!
Yeah!
Welcome to my latest experiment. This is a big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
Before it was a DeLorean, the time machine was supposed to be a refrigerator. Seriously, the original script had Marty hiding in a lead-lined fridge as a nuclear bomb went off to power the time jump. It was big, bulky, and deadly. Spielberg loved it, until he realized kids might start climbing into actual refrigerators to time travel, so they changed it. A DeLorean? Sleek, chrome, gull-wing doors. Perfect for 88 miles per hour. And as for the fridge idea, Spielberg kept it, and later used it in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. 4. The Twin Pines Mall joke is pure time travel genius.
You let it go! That's a big gun! Go!
Marty starts his journey at Twin Pines Mall. He runs over a pine tree in 1955. When he returns to 1985, it's now called Lone Pine Mall. It's a 1-second joke. No dialogue, no explanation, just a sign. That changed because of a tree. It's not just clever, it's how time travel should work, and 99% of viewers missed it. That's the magic of this movie. World-altering butterfly effects, and not a single wink to the camera. 5. Huey Lewis is in the movie, and he's judging himself. The guy who tells Marty his band is just too darn loud? That's Huey Lewis, as in the guy who wrote The Power of Love, the movie's own theme song. He cameoed as the uptight judge at the high school auditions, wearing big glasses and no patience. That's like John Williams telling Luke Skywalker to dial it down. Marty didn't just get rejected. He got rejected by the guy who wrote his soundtrack. 6. The ending was a mystery until the very last minute. Doc Brown gets electrocuted. Marty gets stuck. The lightning bolt is coming. You know how it ends, but the writers didn't. The original script ended in a nuclear test site. Then it ended with Doc dying, then with Marty dying. They rewrote the finale multiple times during shooting. Christopher Lloyd didn't know what version they were going to use until the day he filmed it. When the cables connect and the clock tower sparks, they weren't just racing lightning, they were racing the rewrite team. 7. The hoverboard hoax that went too far in Back to the Future. Part 2. Marty zips around on a hoverboard.
He's on a hoverboard!
And in 1989, people lost their minds. So much that a fake behind-the-scenes documentary claimed they were real, just not released to the public yet. Mattel's phones exploded. Toy stores had wait lists. And Robert Zemeckis? He played along, said they were real in interviews. It was a prank that spiraled into national confusion. To this day, some people still think hoverboards were banned by the government, just like aliens, or Crystal Pepsi. 8. Crispin Glover sued the franchise into the future. He played George McFly in the first movie. But when he didn't return for the sequels, they deep-faked him. They hired another actor, used prosthetics to make him look like Glover, and hung him upside down so you couldn't tell. But Crispin Glover could tell. He sued Spielberg's team for using his likeness without permission, and won. His case literally changed Hollywood. Now there are laws protecting actors from being replicated digitally without consent. 9. Ronald Reagan quoted the movie in real life.
Never has there been a more exciting time to be alive. A time of rousing wonder and heroic achievement. As they said in the film Back to the Future, where we're going, we don't need roads.
When Doc Brown hears that an actor is president in 1985, he scoffs. Ronald Reagan, the actor? It was meant to be a throwaway gag, but Reagan loved it. He had the projectionist rewind the scene during a White House screening so he could laugh again. And in a later State of the Union speech, he quoted Doc Brown's line, "Where we're going, we don't need roads." Imagine making a sci-fi joke so good, the actual president of the United States uses it to address the nation. 10. Einstein the dog was originally a chimp. Doc's loyal time-traveling dog, Einstein, was supposed to be a chimpanzee. The writers loved the idea of a monkey in a lab coat pushing buttons. The studio did not. An exec literally said, "No movie with a chimpanzee ever made money." And just like that, the chimp was erased from the timeline. In came a scruffy sheepdog with 0 lines and maximum vibe. Because nothing says, "Trust me, I'm a scientist," like strapping your terrier to a time machine and hoping for the best. 11. The DeLorean almost killed the movie. It looked cool. Chrome, gull-wing doors, future on 4 wheels, but it was also a disaster. The DeLorean was heavy, underpowered, and broke down constantly. Stunt drivers hated it. The interior was so tight, camera crews had to shove the lens through the windows just to get a shot. And when they finally rigged it for that 88-mile-an-hour magic, it kept needing a tow truck to get back to set. It wasn't a time machine, it was a beautiful steel-plated lemon. But it looked like nothing else on Earth, or in time. And that was enough. 12. Thomas F. Wilson made up most of Biff's insults. "Why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?"
So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
Biff's a bully, but a weird one. And most of his weirdness came straight from actor Thomas F. Wilson. He improvised, riffed, misquoted, and created a villain who was more dangerous because he was dumb. He didn't just play Biff, he played Griff. And Buford Mad Dog Tannen.
Nobody calls me Mad Dog. Especially not some duded up, egg-sucking gutter trash.
3 generations of idiocy, all delivered with that same knuckle-dragging swagger. He also got the short end of the fandom stick. People yelled butthead at him on the street for decades, so he wrote a song about it. Seriously, it's called The Question Song, and it's perfect. 13. Doc Brown was almost played by Jeff Goldblum. Great Scott, imagine that version. In early casting discussions, Jeff Goldblum was considered for Doc. Same wild energy, same wide eyes, but a totally different kind of weird. Where Christopher Lloyd brought manic genius and soft-hearted warmth, Goldblum would have been all chaos and jazz hands. The studio almost bit, but Lloyd got the call and ran with it. He turned a walking exposition machine into one of cinema's most beloved oddballs. Chapter 14. Leah Thompson had to play her own mother. Drunk.
This is all wrong. I don't know what it is. But when I kiss you, it's like I'm kissing my brother.
Leah Thompson, aka Lorraine Baines, had the weirdest job on set. She had to play Marty's mom, as a 17-year-old flirt, while also pretending not to know she was his mom. But to really nail the infamous parked car scene, she got tipsy. Just enough to soften the cringe. And it worked. Because somehow, she walks the tightrope. Flirty, but not creepy. Sweet, but not clueless. And she delivers the line that made a generation squirm. "It's like I'm kissing my brother." 15. The Hill Valley set was reused again and again. You've seen Hill Valley before, even if you didn't know it. That idyllic town square, it's been in Gremlins, The Twilight Zone, Bruce Almighty, and more. It's not just a set, it's a Universal Studios chameleon. They dressed it up for the 50s, blew it apart for the future, lit it on fire for alternate timelines, and it still shows up in movies today. Next time you're watching a small-town comedy and something feels familiar, it's probably just Hill Valley wearing a different coat. 16. The lightning strike scene took months to shoot. 1 clock, 1 bolt of lightning. 1 perfect moment. It looks like a quick sequence. But the climactic scene where Doc connects the wires and Marty races the storm? It took 3 months to film. Miniatures, matte paintings, wind machines, stunt cables, real fire, fake rain, synchronized timing. It was one of the most complicated sequences in 80s film, and they only had one shot at the final spark. When it hit, it hit. Every kid in the theater felt the jolt. Because time travel is cool, but time payoff? That's lightning in a bottle. 17. The script almost got trashed for being too sweet. When the writers first pitched the idea, one studio said it wasn't edgy enough. Quote, "Where's the sex? Where's the raunch?" Keep in mind, this was the era of Porky's and Revenge of the Nerds. Studios didn't know what to do with a wholesome time travel story about family, love, and 1.21 gigawatts. They passed. Over 40 times. It took Steven Spielberg's name on the project to get it made.
But the only power source capable of generating 1.21 gigawatts of electricity is a bolt of lightning.
18. There's a hidden joke about Chuck Berry, and it's controversial.
Chuck! Chuck! It's Marvin! Your cousin, Marvin Berry? You know that new sound you're looking for? Well, listen to this!
In the school dance scene, Marty shreds Johnny B. Good on stage. And Marvin Berry calls his cousin Chuck to say, "You know that new sound you're looking for?" It's funny, until you realize the implication. A white kid from the future invented rock and roll. Yikes. It was meant as a clever loop. Instead, it became one of the most debated jokes in movie history. Even decades later, critics and fans still argue. Was it satire, stealth racism, just bad taste? Whatever it was, it's now part of the Back to the Future time paradox. Can you love something and still cringe at it? 19. They had to invent new cameras to shoot it. Some scenes in Back to the Future required split-screen shots. Marty talking to himself, Doc handing things to Doc. They weren't using digital effects. They had to lock the camera in place, shoot the scene twice, and layer the footage perfectly. But the tech didn't exist. So they built it. A custom VistaGlide system, motion control rigs, frame-by-frame timing. They engineered new gear just to tell this story. And if you watch closely, the seams never show. 20. The final line was a joke. That became a sequel. Where we're going? We don't need roads. Iconic, right?
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Well, we're going, we don't need roads.
But the writers never intended a sequel. It was a joke ending, a punchline. They thought it would be hilarious if Doc showed up in a flying car and zoomed off into the future. Credits roll. They didn't have any idea what would happen next. No script, no plan. But the audience wanted more, so they made Back to the Future Part 2 and invented hoverboards, self-lacing shoes, in 2015. The one we wish we'd actually gotten. Sometimes the best sequels start as a throwaway line, and somehow it's stuck.